Thank you, Speaker. My next question is also for the Premier. The leaked documents show that hydro bills in Ontario will rise by over 50% if the Premier's borrowing scheme is passed into law. Given that this plan will actually increase people's hydro bills, Speaker, and given that the Premier is not disclosing all the facts, we have called on an independent review of the legislation by the Financial Accountability Officer for the province of Ontario. So, will this Premier cooperate with the FAO so that the public has the full truth, the unbiased facts about her $40 billion borrowing scheme?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We have and we always will work with the Financial Accountability Officer, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, we have a very good working relationship and expanded his authority recently, Mr. Speaker. So we will, of course, work with the Financial Accountability Officer. But, Mr. Speaker, the plan that we brought forward, which is not based on the document that the Leader of the Third Party is talking about. That document was part of the development of the plan, Mr. Speaker, but it was not used in the final analysis of the plan that we brought forward, Mr. Speaker. Our plan is designed to reduce people's electricity bills because, Mr. Speaker, we had to make investments in the electricity system in this province. The fact is that the shutting down of the coal-fired plants, the rebuilding of lines across the province, the development of clean, renewable industry, electricity in this province, Mr. Speaker, has meant that there was a cost associated with that. We are spreading that cost over a longer period of time, making structural changes to reduce people's electricity.
Supplementary.
Speaker, we asked the Premier months ago, in fact 2 months ago today, we asked the Premier not to ram this bill through the House. Bringing this bill in at the last minute, Speaker, especially now that we know how much damage it's going to do to Ontario families, is absolutely undemocratic. Shutting down the public's right to review this bill is not
Minister of Economic
how
Development.
a government with integrity would work. Will this Premier at least allow the FAO to conduct his assessment on the long-term impact of this borrowing scheme and direct her minister to release all documents, every single document that they relied on to put this scheme together, to the FAO, and do it immediately?
Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as the Premier said, we welcome and encourage the FAO to review our Fair Hydro Plan, Mr. Speaker. The FAO has already received a full technical briefing last month, and we've responded to all follow-up requests for information, Mr. Speaker. So remember, though, Mr. Speaker, that it was this government that created the FAO, and we expanded its authority and oversight again last fall. But what's disappointing, Mr. Speaker, is that the NDP know all of this, and yet they try to distract from the legislation we have tabled. We've been clear all along. Our plan is spreading out the costs over time, Mr. Speaker, and over our system. But it will reduce the burden on ratepayers today, and it will share costs more evenly with future generations who will also benefit from our investment. But the NDP, Mr. Speaker, they don't want to seem to provide relief to ratepayers. They don't support our plan to reduce bills by 25% if passed, and they have no credible ideas to replace it, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.